Well, thousands of Minnesota kids go back to school today.
For students at Minnehaha Academy, it is going to be very different.
5 weeks after the tragic explosion, we stand in awe of the work God has done through so many to make September 5th, the start date, a reality.
Last night, the school's president thanked staff and volunteers for helping repurpose this Mendota Heights industrial space into a new upper school. The South Minneapolis school lost 2 beloved staff members just 1 month ago when the upper school exploded from an apparent gas leak. Parents and students gathered in scripture and in song to dedicate the new space.
Basically, I've been celebrating the new building, way school year is going to be in the honor of the people who were hurt and who died, keeping in mind their legacy that they've left behind, but also just looking forward in the future.
New building was transformed in just 15 days. At 7:45 this morning, seniors will do an official ribbon cutting. In the wake of North Korea's latest nuclear test, South Korea continues to conduct more military drills.
Yesterday, the U.S. agreed to allow South Korea to beef up its missile system. This comes after North Korea says it tested a hydrogen bomb over the weekend. The White House says it's not ruling out military options, a sentiment echoed by Russia yesterday. The U.S. is also drafting a proposal for new UN sanctions.
President Donald Trump is expected to announce an end to the DACA program today. It's a federal program protecting hundreds of thousands of undocumented immigrants who were brought to the United States as children. The president is expected to include a 6-month delay on ending the program to give Congress time to consider passing an alternative.
Across the West, 77 large fires are burning in 8 states, including the largest ever to hit Los Angeles. This will be the 5th day that fire rages on. We've also learned investigators in Oregon believe the Eagle Creek fire was sparked by fireworks.
Labor Day was supposed to be a day of celebration for a Bloomington family.
But because of what happened at a North Shore resort, the day will never be the same.
Love you, Marcus! Love you!
The family of Marcus Roberts remembered him last night on what would have been his 37th birthday. The blackjack dealer from Minneapolis was working at the Bluefin Resort one night in December 2015, dealing for the resort's staff holiday party. Resort employees, 62-year-old Kirk Bigby admitted to being drunk and shooting and killing Roberts as he went outside to smoke a cigarette. In a story you'll see only on WCCO, Marcus Roberts' family spoke to our Susan Elizabeth Littlefield about what happened.
Now I've been given permission to tell the story so that now I can heal, because I need to help the rest of the family heal too.
And this broken-hearted mother has quite the story to tell.
And I go, "You mean my son is dead?" And he goes, "Your son received a fatal shot."
It was the Cook County Sheriff's Office on the phone, and it didn't make sense. Elaine's oldest son, Marcus, was staying on the North Shore. He and his brother spent the day taking these now sacred photos and enjoying the view. The brothers had just wrapped up their one-night gig of dealing blackjack when resort worker Kirk Bigby shot Marcus in the parking lot. Elaine says Bigby was drunk and took aim. There was no prior confrontation between the men.
He wasn't hostile. He was trying to make money to get his own place for him and his children.
The biggest thing about him was his love of family. He was absolutely devoted to his kids. He adored them.
Jessica Jensen is the mother of 2 of Marcus's 5 children.
With murder, it's just, you don't get that. You don't get the closure.
She says her children have nightmares. She's seen them in the car, hugging each other and quietly crying as they ride to school.
Kids aren't supposed to have to feel that amount of grief.
But there's been some peace, knowing the man who killed their beloved Marcus is serving time. There's also been comfort from a woman they never knew, a woman who was also killed.
What particularly helped me was going to Justine Damon's memorial service with my sister, and how healing and how positive, and I could sense like Justine's presence there, even though I hadn't met her.
And was she telling you to let go?
Let go. That it's, oh, he wouldn't want me to be this way.
My God, look at him go, you guys.
And now, together,
Love you, son.
they are letting go.
You guys are buddy. We can start healing.
Susan Elizabeth Littlefield, WCCO 4 News.
The man who shot Marcus has 80 more months in prison to serve. Marcus's family has a GoFundMe page set up to try and help support his 5 children as they grow up without their dad. We do have a link on WCCO.com.
Hundreds of students in St. Paul will walk back into the classroom today with a fresh haircut. Barbers at King Milan's Barber Shop spent the whole day giving free cuts for kids. St. Paul Public School students have their first day of classes today. Kids also walked out of the barber shop with a backpack full of school supplies. Organizers say they want to help students feel confident as they start that new school year.
This helps them to start the year off with high esteem, self-esteem. So if I could be a part of that and my barbers can be a part of that, then we up for the challenge every year.
What an awesome program. In all, they gave more than 300 haircuts yesterday. But too short of it.